Good evening, Yarnies. Even though Crojo doesn't come in as often as she used to, I'm going to start using her term. A little late starting up. I had to do a few little technical housekeeping things. I'm just double checking that is working. Okay. Just my sound. Hopefully it's not too loud for my music. And we're going to get right into tonight's square. Tonight's is a 3-round repeat. Oh, that's really washed out. I only have the one light on. There, you can see a little better. It's called the Dainty Puff Square. To me, that looks like a dogwood flower. So I'm calling it the Dogwood Square. It's from a channel on YouTube called Hopeful Turn. Never heard of them before. I just did a search for crochet flower squares, and that one came up. So this is a simple 3-round square. The most difficult part is the first round, and that's not even that difficult. I'm not certain if they're not popcorns. They're more like a kind of a variation on a puff stitch. So we're going to start with, I'm going to find a color that works. Let's see, these are our little scraps that I have. I am in a mood for this blue. So we're going to start with this blue. And tonight we're probably going to make a few of them since they're so quick. And just to prep, I'm going to get a whole bunch of yarn out of the ball, get it out of the way so there's not any tension on it. Oh, and there's actually a knot in there, so let's get rid of the knot now. It's not that far into the yarn, so move that away. So for this square, we're going to want a hole in the center. So this, we're going to do our slip knot on our hook like we normally do. And we're going to chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then into the very first chain, let me zoom in. To the very first chain, you're going to slip stitch to form a ring, like you would make a traditional granny square. And then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is going to count as our very first double crochet with a little extra loop. Normally you would chain 3. And now into the center ring, we're going to do 7 double crochets together. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's 7. A lot of loops on our hook. So you should have a total of what, 8? Yeah, you've totaled 8 loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all of them except for the very last one. This is where it's kind of a little bit of a variation on a puff. And it's a much wider one. So now you pull through all of them except the last one. You're going to yarn over and pull through those last 2. And it helps if you pull or push all of the bottoms of your stitches together, and it'll form a little bit of a cup there. That's fine. And now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So that is our first petal. We're going to do 4 of them. But first what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the ring. So we've got our little petal puff, and then we've got this chain 3 that's slip stitched to our ring. And again, push them all over to make room. And now we're going to do that 3 more times, but instead of chaining up 4, we could just do 8 double crochets. Actually, no, we will chain up the 4. We will chain up the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now do 7 double crochets together into the center of the ring. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Actually, I misspoke. This is not like a puff, because a puff you wouldn't do double crochets together. You do a series of half doubles with one and finish them, and then finish them at the end. So this is more of like a cluster, or not a cluster. This is more. I always confuse clusters and bobbles. It's one of the two. So now we have 8 on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all except for the last one. Then yarn over through those last 2. Move everything over to the side. Again, we're going to have 4. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to have this arrangement. And now chain 3 and slip stitch into the center ring. We're going to do that 2 more times. So I'm going to chain 4. 2, 3, 4. And now 7 double crochets together into the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now 7. Yarn over through all but the very last one. And then yarn over through the last 2. Move your stitch over, and it's okay if they're cupped. Chain 3. Slip stitch into the center to join. Now you're going to do that 1 more time. We're going to chain 4. 2, 3, 4. And now 7 double crochets together into the center ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yarn over through all of them except the last one. Yarn over through 2, and I'll chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And this time, instead of slip stitching into the center ring, we can slip stitch. Actually, yeah, we will slip stitch to the center ring. So we're going to slip stitch into the center ring. And now we're going to chain 1, and now we can end our yarn, our color. We're done with the blue. Cut our yarn, and then pull through, snug it up. And I'm going to weave in my tails. I didn't have my needle prepared. So now I'm going to weave in my ends, and then we will prep what we just made for the next round. So this is the front side, that's the back side. So we're going to flip over to the back side and weave in. I almost weaved them in the wrong way. You'll be able to tell because the back side has a lot of texture like that. The front side is going to be a little more smooth. The stitches are a little more smooth. I'm just going to go and weave in a few times. And then I'm going to weave in my other tail. Cut our tails. And now all your little puffs, that's the back side, flip it over to the front and form the puff so they puff the right way. Get your finger in there and kind of fluff them up. Kind of like that. Now remember, next to each one, they will have that chain 3 space, because that's going to be becoming important here soon. So there's our first round. Now our next 2 rounds, I'm going to do them both in white just so it stands out. So it will highlight the flower. You can do them whatever color you want, but I would recommend definitely using a contrasting color to make them pop. Let me get a little bit of something to drink. All right. Now when we start, we're going to attach to our petal. So at the top of the petal, there's a space here. Remember when we did that, the 7 together, and then we pulled through and went through all the loops except the last one, then yarned over and went through 2? That's right here. That's the space we're going to work in, is that yarn over, go through 2, the very top. So into that, we're going to do, I'm going to join with a standing single crochet. You can join however you want, but you're going to want a single crochet in there. So the easiest, instead of worrying about pulling it through and chaining and then all of that, I'm just going to start with a standing single crochet, and I will show that again, how to do that. You're going to put a slip knot on your hook, and then take your hook and go insert where you're going to put, where you need to, which is going to be in that space. I'm going to take the yarn from behind, so it's going over like this. Yarn over, 2 on the hook, and now yarn over through all 2. And that is a standing single crochet. It's a whole lot easier to join. No more chains, none of that. And you're not really going to see a difference with a single crochet, but sometimes... Hey there, Seagam, welcome. So, if you're doing like a double crochet, they look slightly different than like 3 chains. So sometimes if you're worried about how it looks, a standing one is going to look exactly like a regular double crochet. What's up, Seagam? So now I've got my single crochet. And now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to double crochet into the center of our flower. Man, I see some dust bunnies in this chat here. What do you mean dust bunnies? What are you talking about dust bunnies in the chat? So we have a single crochet into... You haven't been in here a while. Well, why not? Need to come in more often. Single crochet into the top of our flower, top of our petal, chain 3, and now we're going to double crochet into the center hole. You're kind of, those chain 3s are going to go around the petal. So then we're going to do a double crochet, and it'll go right between the 2 petals. Chain 3. And now we're going to double crochet into the center again. You're basically making a variation of a V-stitch. Whoops. Hold on. That's it, Mr. Bossy. I hand in your retirement form. You were never hired. Okay. So, to recap what we did, we had a single crochet in the top of the petal, 3 chains, double crochet in the center, 3 chains, double crochet in the center. So we made a modified V-stitch into the center. And now we're going to chain 3 times. And that right there is the repeat. So now in the top of the next petal, we're going to single crochet, chain 3, double crochet into the center of our square, chain 3. That was 1, 2, 3. Double crochet into the center of the square, chain 3. And again, single crochet in the top of our flower, of our petal, chain 3, double crochet into the center of the square, chain 3, double crochet into the center again, chain 3. A lot of chaining 3. Now we're going to go to the top of this petal, single crochet, chain 3, double crochet into the center, chain 3, double crochet into the center, chain 3. I say chain 3 a lot because there's a lot of chain 3s in that round. And now you're going to slip stitch into your very first single crochet that you made on that round. That is round 2. Fairly easy. It's a lot of chains. You're creating these open spaces. And now, sometimes those chains and everything aren't going to lay right. The last round will make everything square. It's kind of square now, but not perfectly. So now in the next chain space here, you're going to single crochet twice. So 2 single crochets. In the V space here, you'll do 3 doubles. Whoops. That one didn't work. So there's 1, 2, 3 doubles, 3 chains, and then 3 more doubles, all in that V space. There's 1, 2, and 3. And the whole time we were working this, when I first learned how to do this, I was thinking these were going to be the corners. No, that's the corner. So if you look here, the petal is not the corner. The corner is in between the petals. So we've made a corner. And in the next chain space here, we're going to do 2 singles. I had to make certain I was looking at the right instructions. So there's 1 and there's 2. And then in the very next chain space, we'll do 2 more singles. That is a side. In the next V stitch here, we're going to do 3 doubles, 3 chains, and 3 doubles. There's only 1, 2, and 3. I got to get more slack out of this. Ball of yarn's almost empty. And then in the next 2 spaces, they're each going to get 2 single crochets. And now we've come to a V stitch again. We do our corners. 3 doubles, 3 chains, and 3 doubles. 3 doubles, 3 chains, and now 3 doubles. Then in the next 2 spaces, they each get a single, 2 singles. Our V-stitch gets a corner, so that's 3 doubles, 3 chains, and 3 doubles. One, 2, and 3. And the next space gets 2 singles. And then you can slip stitch to join and chain 1, cut and pull, and you've finished. Now we're going to have an ad right now, and as soon as we come back from the ad, I will help fluff this up a little bit more, and we'll make a couple more. I'll be right back. Welcome back, Yarnies. So while we were at ad, I weaved in my ends, and I'm fluffing up the petals. You want them to fluff up a little bit, to be a little puffy. What size is the finished square? Well, good question. Glad that you asked me, Grammy. Now keep in mind I'm wearing I'm using worsted weight yarn and my 5.5 millimeter hook, my go-to, because it's out and just what I happen to use. And our square is, so it's easier to measure it from the back, about 3 3/4 inch, roughly. If this was blocked a little bit better. Not quite 4 inches. But you can always go around another time, maybe in the same color as this, to make a border of some sort, if you want to make it a little bit bigger. But basically, that last row, that third row, squares it up, because the second row isn't super square. And again, like most squares, they will benefit from some type of blocking. So, like I said, they call it the Dainty Puff. When I look at it, especially the cluster of 4 petals, it reminds me of a dogwood, especially if it's done in a pink. And for some reason, that one had better puffs than this one did. I must have got better here on stream. That first one didn't. That puff there didn't turn out that well. Wait a minute. Let me see something. No. Okay, we were right. Anybody who's watching and also on the YouTube upload, I have, if you're a member of the Discord, today I posted a poll in the Discord channel. Make certain that if you're interested, read that and give a reply. It's about vintage crochet patterns in the upcoming months. So I want people's input if possible. And since we made one, and I've only been streaming for a half hour, well, let's make another one. And I'm going to use this mauve-y color because I've got enough of it. And everything else I have are shades of blue and pink. This is not my favorite color, but it'll work. Alrighty. We're going to start this one more time. These would be really good if you make a bunch of them in coordinating colors and join them. And you can join them however you want. If you want to join them just like this, if you want a third, like a color that's not used, let's say like a green. You could do all different colored flowers and then connect them with some type kind of almost like a border, but not. They're all different ones that you can find. Alrighty, so now we're going to start our third one. Again, slip knot in the hook, chain 6. In the first one, slip stitch to join to form a ring. This time, I am going to weave in my end. I got to get better habit of weaving in my tails when I do a round. So now we're going to chain 4. And then in that ring, I know it's almost the same color as my skin. Never would have thought this was flesh tone, but on camera it's showing up kind of flesh tone. So in the same ring, we're going to do 7 double crochets together. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7. I just want to make certain, yeah. So I got 8 on my hook. Yarn over, go through all of them except that last one. 2 on the hook, yarn over through those 2, chain 3. Now this is where you can smash your stitches all together, get them really tight in there, and then slip stitch into the ring to join. That's 1 petal. And you're going to repeat that. Again, 4 chains. I'm going to move that all the way over so I have room. And then 7 doubles together. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Yarn over through all except for that last loop. And then yarn over through those 2, chain 3, and now we're going to smash our stitches all the way around. If your yarn is strong enough, I wouldn't suggest this with a fragile yarn, but my yarn's pretty strong enough. I'm really, really tugging to get those stitches in there so there's enough room. So I've chained 3 already, and then we're going to slip stitch into the ring to secure it. I'm going to do 2 more petals. There's my chain 4, and now I'm going to do my 7 doubles together. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yarn over through all but the last one. Yarn over through both of them. I'm going to smash my stitches over. Chain 3. Slip stitch to join. I got 1 more petal to do. There's my chain of 4. And now my last 7 crochet together. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7. Yarn over through all but the last. Yarn over through those 2, chain 3, and then slip stitch into the center ring to join. And I'm going to chain 1 because I'm finishing off this round. Cut my tail. Pull it tight. You can always fluff up your puff stitches here now. Doesn't matter. It's just you want to keep track of what is the right side and the wrong side. That's the right side. That's the side you want to look at. The back side looks slightly different, ever so slightly, and it's barely noticeable, but if you look real close, you can kind of see a difference. I don't think it would really matter if you have the other side as the right side. And I'm going to weave in my ends now. Well, I don't have to weave in the one end because I was weaving as I was going. It's the end that I ended on, that I finished on. There's a lot of strands here because, again, each one was 7 double crochets together. So that's a lot of strands of yarn through that center ring. And I'm just going to cut my tails. And now I'm ready for the white. Also, you can really put your finger in there to really get them rounded. And they look a little bit better when they're really rounded. But you can also do this when the square is done. So again, we're going to start with a standing single crochet. And I'll repeat how to do that, because there's some people who do not know how to do a standing one. So I put a slip knot on my hook, and I find the top of my stitch, which is actually a little off center, but there's the top, not here. You want to go here. Put your hook into the stitch. Bring up a strand, 2 on the hook, yarn over through 2. There's your single crochet. So single crochet in the top of your petal, chain 3, double crochet into the center of your flower, and if your double crochet is a little tall and extended, that's fine, because there is quite a distance there to go. Chain 3, and then do another double crochet into the center of your flower. That forms your V. Actually, I'm going to redo that because that one stitch there was a little too loose. I'm going to start that over again. Go in, bring it up. There, it's a little bit better. Chain 3, and then do another one in the center. And now we're going to chain 3 again. And then the top of our petal, single crochet. And then chain 3, double into the center of our flower, chain 3, double into the center of the flower, chain 3, and then single crochet in the top of your petal. And you keep doing that. Chain 3, double into the center, chain 3, double into the center, chain 3, single into the top of our petal, chain 3, double into the center, chain 3, double into the center for the last time, chain 3, slip stitch to our single crochet that we started with, and that is round 2. Now round 3, in the next chain space, right here, right next door, we're going to do 2 singles. Hey there, Anna, how are you? And do 2 singles. In our V stitch, we're going to do a corner, so that's 3 doubles. 2 and 3. 3 chains, and then 3 doubles. 2 and 3. In the next 2 chain spaces, this one here and this one here, they're each going to get 2 singles. So 1 single and 2 single. The next one gets 1 and 2. Running low on my white, but that's all right. I have more white yarn. In our large V stitch, we're going to put 3 doubles. Give me a second. I got to turn my music down. That song's a little loud. So I have 2 doubles. Now I need a third one. And now it's too quiet. Let me change my levels. There. So I have my three double crochets. I'm going to chain 3 and then 3 more doubles. 2 and 3. Did that music just stop all of a sudden? Hold on. I switched to another song. The next 2 chain spaces are each going to get 2 singles. The corner, which is in our enlarged V-stitch, gets 3 doubles, 3 chains, and 3 doubles. Just got to work, brain's still waking up. How many have I made? This is my second one on stream. This was my sample. That I already made this one on stream. I've made this one. And I will make another one, at least one more. These work up somewhat quick because it's a 3 round repeat. So in the next 2 chain spaces, they each get a single. One, 2. We're at our modified V-stitch. That gets 3 doubles. 2, 3 doubles, 3 chains, and then 3 doubles. Three. Then our last chain space, because we started with a chain space. We started with 2 singles in a chain space. And our last chain space here, we're going to get 2 singles. And now we're going to slip stitch into our very first stitch. To join, I'm going to chain 1, and now I can cut my yarn, pull the hook and the strand, tighten up, and then weave in, obviously. And then it's always good to go and fluff up these petals. Put your finger in from behind and fluff them up. And there we have what I'm calling the Dogwood square. Alrighty, so that's all the white I have of that. I'm going to need more white. So let me get my other ball of white. I got plenty of other white. We're going to make another one. Now, we're going to be a little daring tonight, and we might end up having yarn chicken, because I'm going to use this green. I've used this green in the temperature blanket. I have more of it, but I don't want to use any more to start another, to use any from another cake. So we're going to see if this will last us for one round, for the center round. I'm not too certain. We'll see. So we're going to do a little green one, even though flowers aren't usually green. I mean, well, parts of them can be. Wait a minute. Okay. Twitch glitched out for a second. I caught it before anybody else did. Hopefully I'm back. Okay. Twitch does that every now and then. So I've got 6 chains. And then we're going to slip stitch into our first chain to make a ring. So that's how we start. We're going to chain 4. Chain 4. And now into the center, we're going to do 7 double crochets together. So we're going to wrap, go in, pull up. Hey there, Clean Miko. How are you? Since Clay Miko just joined, I'm going to start this over one more. I hadn't even started into it. I'm going to start the square one more time, so I'm not backtracking. I'd only gone in a few stitches. So we are going to slip knot on our hook, 6 chains. 5, 6. Slip stitch into our first chain to form a ring. Oh, I know. Oh, you don't need to tell me. So we've slip stitched to form a ring, and we're chaining up 4. So we've got our six in a ring, chain up 4, and into our center ring we're going to do 7 double crochets together. So you do 1, whoops, 1. Come on, the yarn's going to split because this is not good yarn. So there's 1, 2, come on, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7. So you got 7 double crochets together, and now we're going to yarn over and go through all except the last one. Go through all, but not the very last one. 2 on the hook, yarn over through those 2, chain 3, and now you're going to take all of your stitches that you made there and snug them up real tight. Pull that loop real good so they're all snugged up. And we've already chained 3, and now we're going to take and we're going to slip stitch into the center of our ring to anchor. That is 1 petal, and they're going to cup. You want them to cup. I'm going to do that 3 more times. Chain 4. I'm going to move that over so I have enough room. And now 7 double crochets together into the center ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I want to make sure I can go roll them. So we have 8 on the hook. Yarn over through all but the last one. Yarn over through 2. Chain 3. I'm going to move all my stitches over. And then slip stitch to join. So we've got 2 petals done. So the whole time I'm working over my tail, as usually you should do. I don't always do it. So now we're going to chain 4, 7 double crochets together into the center ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yarn over through all but the last one. Yarn over through those 2. Chain 3, 2, 3. Moving all my stitches over. A slip stitch to join. We've got 4. We need to do 1 more. So again, chain 4. 7 double crochets together into the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I'm splitting the yarn. 6, and this is the 7th one. Yarn over through all but the last one. Yarn over through the last 2. Chain 3. And now slip stitch to the center ring to join and chain 1, and we are finished with this color. So we can clip. You made your first 2 wind spinners today. Oh wow, I've never made a wind spinner before. And now we're going to pull it tight. If you want to show pictures, you know where to post them. So what you can do now is you can fluff these up if you want. I'm going to fluff them at the end. But keep in mind, what is the right side and the wrong side? You have to post them in Discord. Your daughter stole the smaller one, has already put it up in her room. Oh. So that's the wrong side, and that's the right side. There is a slight difference. Basically, you can tell the difference here at the bottom of the stitches. See how these are all kind of smooth here? On the back, you see how they're kind of like, it's where the yarn's all meeting. There's all little, like, I don't know what you call it. It's not as smooth. So that's the back side, and that's the front side. So if you want, you can fluff up your puffs, put your finger in from the back, and form the puffs. You could do this now, or you can do this after the square is done. It does not matter. But I am going to weave in my end, and I'm only going to weave on one end because I was crocheting around my tail to begin with, so I'm not really going to worry about that one, so I will clip that one. That's pretty secure. And now I'm going to, like I said, weave in my tail. And we want it yarn chicken because that's all we have left of that ball. So we might have enough to do one more. Okay. Speaking of Discord, I had made this announcement a little while ago, and I know a couple more people might have come in. Earlier today, I put up a poll on the Discord. If you're a member of the Discord, if you are ever so kind, put a response in there. It's about vintage type projects that I'm thinking about doing here in the next few months or so. And let me turn my volume down a little. All right, now, let's see. Now we're going to do round 2. So we're done with our color, with our flower color. Now we're going to work on the square part. And you could, like I had said before, I recommend doing a contrasting color. So you're going to highlight your flower. Just like I have here, I've got my mauve one, the blue one, a pink one. So you want something that's going to contrast to make the flower pop. And if you use the same color, you're not really going to see it. Yes, vintage. A lot of the thing is, with a lot of the vintage, well, it's not real. You're not really going to have color. Well, you could. A lot of the vintage patterns, they're using crochet cotton and really thin hooks. I want to do some projects with the thin cotton, with the thin thread, but I know it's going to be difficult to be seen on camera. I can use the magnifying glass, but I will also do some of the same patterns, but in larger yarn. So it's not really going to be proportionate to what the item would really be. But so you can see the stitches, I will do it with some worsted weight yarn. But in addition, I am thinking about doing some on stream in a crochet cotton. Just so there's like a mixture. Because I've been watching, and I'm not trying to copy her, but I've been watching on YouTube Just Vintage Crochet, and that's all she really does on that channel. And she does anything from like the 1840s up to like the 1980s. There are some, like, just she's inspired me to like do some vintage stuff. Again, this isn't all going to be vintage stuff on the stream. It's just something to add. All right. Back to round 2. So we made our flower. We're going to start with a standing single crochet. and I'm going to show it one more time because it's real easy on how to do a standing. Well, okay, is there really copying in the crochet world? Yes and no. That's the thing. There are copyright for patterns. So you can't copyright a single crochet stitch or double crochet or a chain or whatever. But you can technically copyright patterns. And when I mean copying, I don't mean when I'm in referencing to Just Vintage Crochet, I don't mean copying as in copyright. I mean copying because doing what she's doing. And I'm not going to do the exact same stitches that she does. But there is a such thing as copyright because it is somebody's, the technical term I think is called intellectual property. It is, they have the rights to that. The patterns that I'm thinking about doing on stream, if you want to get technical, they are still technically under copyright. A lot of them are from like the 30s, 40s, and 50s. So technically they still are under copyright. But I'm only going to do a few here and there. I don't think I am going to take the risk of it being flagged for copyright. And if it does get flagged, I will take it down. I think it's anything, the way it works here in the US, anything after 1928 is copyrighted for 90, however many years. But then anything after 1978 is 70 some years plus. But that way, actually, anything that was made after 1978 is the lifetime of the artist. Then after the artist, whoever holds the copyright, after they pass away, then it's 75 more years. So it's longer, anything that's after 78. So I'm not going to do anything more modern. But I think one or two things from the 40s here and there, I think I'll be all right. Again, if I get flagged, then I'll take it down. Again, back to round 2, which I got distracted on. So we're going to do a standing single crochet. So I'm going to put a slip knot on my hook. And I'm going to find the top of my stitch, of my petal, I mean. Put the hook in. And then pull the yarn to the back. Bring up a strand, 2 on the hook. Yarn over through both. That's a standing single crochet. So we got a single crochet into the top of the petal. Chain 3. And then we're doing a double into the center of our flower. So that chain 3 is going to wrap around our petal. Then we're going to chain 3 more and do another double into the center of our flower. That's our modified V-stitch. Now we're going to chain 3 more. And then we're going to single crochet in the top of our petal. And keep going. Chain 3. Double crochet into the center of our flower. Chain 3. Double crochet into the center of our flower. Chain 3. Single crochet in the top of our petal. Chain 3. Double into the center. Pull out some slack on my yarn cake. Chain 3. Double into the center. chain 3, single into the top of the petal. I want to try to get it into the top right there where it needs to be. Oh, that was off a bit. Sometimes finding the right spot to put the hook in is a little difficult. Chain 3, double into the center, chain 3, let's chain 3 again, double into the center, chain 3, slip stitch into our very first single crochet. Oh, if I can actually get the hook into the stitch, and that is round 2. So interesting. Thanks for sharing. I doubt you get flagged, because as long as you reference and whatnot. Yeah, I can do that. Again, the stitches that I'm going to be doing are technically out of print, but that doesn't mean they're out of copyright. So technically, I could be flagged for it. But yeah, I'll keep that in mind. If something happens, it'll just come down, and I'll do those just on Discord. If we do a Discord watch party, which I'm considering doing that. If we just want to sit around and crochet, or if there's something that you want to see specifically that kind of has a copyright to it, let me know, and I can do it on the Discord watch party. You can just watch. That's all she does. Test. Oh. It did it again. I guess Twitch is not having a good day today. Sorry about that, everybody. I don't know where it cut out. I didn't catch that. Are you there, Clemiko? Can you hear me? What is going on? It keeps resetting. Okay. Technology. Anyway, I don't know where I was, what you caught and what you didn't catch. So, for round 2, I did 2 double crochets in the first chain stitch. Okay, I've joined. So I slip stitch to join. The first chain space, I did 2 double crochets in the modified V stitch, 3 doubles, 3 chains, 3 doubles. In the next 2 chain spaces, on either side of our petal, they're each going to get 2 singles. There's no chains in between. You just go single, 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 single. Yeah, second glitch of the Twitch. Think Twitch has got an itch. We've come to our modified V stitch, and we're going to get 3 doubles, 3 chains, and 3 doubles. Now our 3 doubles. And the bad thing about it glitching, it resets the timer, so then the ads keep getting pushed back further and further, which is bad for me because the ads help. So now we have 2 chain spaces, and each chain space will have 2 singles. And we've got our modified V, which gets 3 doubles, 3 chains, and 3 doubles. I guess Twitch was hearing me talking about copyrighted material, and it was like, nope, we're done. 2, and 3. And now we've got our 2 chain spaces, and each get 2. 1, 2, and then 1, 2. We've got our modified V-stitch that gets 3 doubles, 3 chains, and 3 doubles. Two, 3, and our last chain space gets 2 singles. And now we can slip stitch to join. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut my yarn, pull it through, and tighten it all up. And now I'm going to weave in my ends, and I didn't weave in my ends from my mauve colored one. And we're going to weave this in real quick. And I think after I weave in these ends, I am going to I'm going to do a manual ad break, since we didn't have one around 9 o'clock because of all these glitches. So I'm going to manually press it here in a second, if I know how to do that. Never had to do it manually. But like I said, the ads help. And again, I know if you're a sub, if you're a subscriber, I know you don't have to sit through ads. But during the ad break, I will, like normal, step away. It's also good for me to do a few other things while that's running. Let's go ad break. And for those of you who hadn't seen it the other day, or didn't see it earlier this evening, again, I'm going to thank Anna. She graciously made a graphic for when I go to ad, and I love it. So I'm going to click the button here. Well, there's our 4 little squares. You could tell I used like an off-white yarn there, so it's not as bright, but it is what it is. So let's see if we can do this ad break the right way. Let's see. I will return after these messages. And welcome back. And Clay Miko, I saw what you wrote there. Ha ha ha, very funny. Anyway, so I'm going to share what, for those of you who are not in the Discord, Clay Miko's wind spinner that she made. I love the colors. Let me see if I can make this a... Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Let's see if I can make this a little... I can't make it bigger. Graphic design's not my specialty. Well, I don't have all these extra little fancy little gadgets on my software I have. I can't do anything that elaborate with it. Anyway, so that is her wind spinner. I really, really like it. And it looks pretty easy to do. It's pretty much continuous. So there is the wind spinner. Alrighty, let me click out of there. Okay. Oh, great. Since my stream stopped a couple times, I'm going to end up having multiple clips to piece together for the YouTube, but that's all right. It is what it is. So we've got our little squares, and I'm going to attempt to join them together. Also, I use Canva for it. It's online and free and awesome. Oh, I'll have to look into that. I got to find a yarn to use to join these together, since we've got a little extra time, because these squares are so quick and easy to do. I don't know what yarn. I don't want to use this dark green because you won't be able to see it. And I don't want to use white or cream. I don't want to use any of the colors I've used. That's the problem. I didn't plan this out. I could get... Well, that's not enough. Actually, it might be. I could get really wild. I want to get really wild and crazy and join it with this hideous variegated yarn. It looks like something right out of the 70s. Everything else is... I don't want to use this mustard color. Ugh. Yeah, we're going to use this interesting yarn. I got 2 little balls of it. How are the balls so perfect? That's just the way I wrap a ball of yarn. I'm pretty good at wrapping and getting them somewhat round. Yeah, these are hand wound. When they're that little, I can't cake them. Okay, Clean Miko, I will catch you later. So what I'm going to end up doing, I got to find a way to join this, and I don't really... Oh, ooh. I got to cut that because that is like really scraggly, even from... I can't use that piece. Why is... Wait a minute. Okay. There we go. So I am just going to do... I think I'm going to... join them in a simple crochet stitch, but back loops only. If I can find... Yeah, back loops only. I gotta think this out. I could always have to think about how I'm going to do it. Okay. Back loops only. So that's the back loop. And that's the back loop. And this isn't really a tutorial about joining. You know what? I think I'm just going to do slip stitch to join. I'm going to do a... Well, you're not going to see it. No, I will do a... I'll do a single crochet join. Back loops only. If I can find where my stitches go. Hopefully this will work out. If not, then we'll see. I'm just going in the back loops of each. So this is the back side, and that's the back side. The fronts are together. And I'm only going in the back loops, and I'm just doing a single crochet. Nothing too fancy. That's where it joined. A weird place to get the stitch in there. And I think I'm only going to join the 2. I don't think I'm going to join all 4 of them tonight on stream. Now, you're not, well, you are going to see it a little bit. Just something to use up this really ugly yarn. And I'm probably not going to even use much of it, because it's only this one seam. I can't even get into the loop. That's how snug and tight I make my stitches. As me and Clay Miko say, we're tight hookers. I'm just going to skip that. I can't get into that stitch. I think it'll be okay. Yeah, we're good. I thought I was going to end up off, but I think we're okay. If I have to fudge a few, yeah, I'm going to fudge a few stitches. Oopsies. Alright, we joined it. It's not the best join in the world. Tell you the truth, I really don't like it, but it is what it is. That was a bad choice. Can't win them all. Yeah, really bad choice. But that is the Dainty Puff Square, or like I call it, the Dogwood Square. I would show again what is for Saturday, but it happens to be being blocked right now. Actually, you know what? I'll show it anyway. It's the piece of foam that I'm blocking it on. It's not real pretty, but it's part of the process. So this is the Cherry Blossoms in Snow Square, and I gotta zoom out. Let me move it this way. So that's blocked, and I usually don't block. Oh, there's a shadow. There's definitely a shadow. I usually don't block a lot of pieces, but this definitely needed to be blocked because it's a weird shape. It's actually 10 points. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3. So there's like 5 of these and 5 of these. And then we had to, it transitions into a square. And it's still not even the best. It's just pinned. It's not steamed. I'm just pinning it. Come Saturday before stream, I'll take it off of here. Hopefully it will be somewhat square. But that is the Cherry Blossom in Snow pattern. And it is by a blog called Daily Crochet. It's not a video. It's a written pattern called Daily Crochet. I think that's where I got it from. And I think the designer's name is Jen Tyler. The pattern that she gave, that the pattern was for 10 colors. I don't know if I used 10 colors, but I definitely used a lot of colors in it. And you only use a little bit at a time for each round. So that will be Saturday's Saturday's probably going to be a longer stream. And I'm going to give you a extra sneak peek, and I haven't weaved in my ends, but for next Tuesday, we're doing something called the spiral flower. I don't know the exact name because it's from a YouTube channel and it's a Spanish channel and everything's written in Spanish, the descriptions, the video is in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. But I was watching it, and as I was watching it, I was writing down the pattern so I know how to do it. It took me a couple tries to play through it and actually comprehend it. And I did have to block this because I used cotton, and it turned out pretty good. This is for Tuesday. I haven't weaved in my tails yet, but it is a spiral, and these are puffy. These are like 3-dimensional. Like, these are concave, and there's 8 of them. And then the last 2 rounds is this lacy, all it is chains, single crochets, and picots. And I had to block it because the last 2 rounds, it just looked like a wad of yarn. So I definitely had to block it for that. And if I do end up doing a lot of vintage things that have chains and picots like this, I will have to block them. So that is Tuesdays. So that's what's coming up in the near future on the stream. Yeah, I really like it. I will do it in probably a yellow color on Tuesday, still in the cotton, because if I can, I'd rather work with cotton on stream because you can see the stitches a little better. And it's very lacy. And then I'll show you the back. Not that anybody really looks at the back, but it's intricate. It's definitely a focal point. All right. With that being said, I think we are going to go and call it a night. Let me check something real quick. I think we're going to end up rating somebody. But before that, I just want to do my little closing. So, as usual, check out the Discord. We post a lot of interesting, cool, fun things in there. We help each other out. And again, if you are a member of the Discord, I suggest that there's a poll that I put up earlier today. When I first put it up, I forgot that nobody can respond to polls in there, but I changed the setting that you could respond to a poll. It's about vintage items, vintage type crochet work. Check out the YouTube. I post all of my streams immediately to YouTube, and tonight's going to take a little while because I got to piece together the clips because I had 2 glitches in stream tonight, but that will be posted. Let's see. Let me check real quick on something. Yeah. I think we are going to go and raid. Come on. We're going to raid a YouTuber. Not a YouTuber. We're going to raid a streamer here on Twitch. I've recently became aware of her. She does a lot of crafts. She does play some video games. But it is a streamer called Kim for the Day, and looks like she is doing some type of crochet work. I don't know exactly what she's doing. So I will be on, like I said, Saturday. So if you want to stick around for the raid, we can go raid her. She seems pretty cool. And I will talk to you all on Saturday. Let me turn off my music.